Okay guys, so happy holidays. We are going to be working on this Lion Brand pattern. It is L20293 and it is using Vanna's Choice yarn. Use whatever you like. I will be using just a standard 4-weight in a dark green and a mauve colored and then just a standard white for the berries in the center. You'll need 3 colors. You'll need a 5.5 hook or whatever size you would like to use. This gauge doesn't cause a problem for this pattern. If you want your flower ornament larger or smaller, use a larger or smaller hook or yarn for this. You can also change up your colors as you want to do so. And again, this is the Poinsettia Ornament. So we will get working with this. We will start making the leaves. So I will start working with my green color. Okay. So we want to start with whichever color you choose. And you want to start with chaining 10. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And now you're going to slip stitch in the second from the hook. Okay, so just go into that second chain from your hook and slip stitch. Just like that. Then you want to single crochet in the next 2 chains. So 1 and 2. You want to half double crochet in the next 3. 1, 2, 3. Single crochet into the next 2, and these are making the leaves, by the way. That's the part that we are working on. And now you want to slip stitch into the next stitch, chain 2, and slip stitch back down into that same stitch. Okay, so that's going to be the tip of the leaf. Now working across the other side here, which you're going to start working across the opposite side of the foundation chain, what you want to do then is you're going to single crochet in the next 2 chains. So work across that tail as well. So 1 and 2. Then you want to half double crochet in the next 3. 1, 2, and 3. Single crochet in the next 2. 1, 2, and then slip stitch into that very end chain. Just like that. And you have your leaf. Okay, and what you want to do is fasten off, and it says to leave yourself a strand, just like that. Now what you're going to do is to make a total of 6 of these, okay, and you're going to fasten off after each one. So go ahead and make 5 additional leaves to go with this, and then we will start working on our petals. Okay, so now that we have our 6 leaves made, we are going to make 6 petals. And now you want to start with your second color of choice. And I will apologize ahead of time for using the darker color, but with a poinsettia you do want to use this type of red. But it only has 1 row, so this should be relatively easy to follow. So what you want to do is you want to start with a chain 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. you're going to slip stitch into the second from the hook just like we did before. Okay, and now what you want to do is single crochet into the next 2 chains. So 1 and 2, half double crochet in the next chain. Okay, and in that last chain you want to work 5 half double crochet. So 1, 2, and it's just going to start turning around on you where we're going to be on the opposite side again, and let that happen. So 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so this is going to be the tip of your petal, and now you're going to be working on these the opposite side here of the foundation chain. You want to half double crochet into that next chain and work over that tail while you're going. So half double crochet in that one. You want to do a single crochet into the next 2 chains. So 1 and 2, and then you're going to slip stitch into that last chain just like that. Okay, and then you're just going to do what we did with the leaves, and you're just going to fasten that off, leave yourself a tail, and pull that through, and go ahead and take off any strand that you may have from that beginning tail. Alright, so these are going to be your petals. So you want to make 5 more of these so you'll have a matching set to your leaves. So you'll have 6 leaves and 6 petals. So go ahead and make 5 more of those as well. Okay, so now we've made our petals. Now we're going to make our centerpieces, which I'm calling the little white berries. So now you're going to take your third color and you're going to start with chaining 2, and you want to work 3 single crochet right into that first stitch. So 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and you're not going to join. So what you're going to do at this point, for round 2, you're going to work 2 single crochet in each stitch. Okay, so just go right into that first stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 2 in the next stitch, and then 4, and then 2 in the next stitch. So you've increased this round to 6 stitches. Very simple. And you really don't need to use a stitch marker because that's pretty much all you're going to do. And then what you want to do is you can join at this on this round if you want. So just join and pull the tail, and you'll fasten these off as well. So basically you're just going to end up with 6 stitches, and they're just going to be like little clusters just like that, and that'll go in the center. So you want 3 total of those. You're just going to make 3 of those, finish off, and make sure that and you can actually, if you want those to be a little bit more tighter as far as ball form, I would suggest you tie that just like that, just to make a little simple knot. They'll stand up for you a little bit more. Okay, so make 2 more of those. Okay, so now what we're doing is the joining process here. So I have already joined most of mine. So what I'm just showing you now is how to simply do it. So the process is you pick 1 strand, and then you'll take your leaves and you'll start where the tail is at, and you will go under 2 loops from one side and then 2 loops on the other side, and then you'll just thread that tail through that you've been using. Okay, and I've left the rest of the tails just dangling, and then what you're just going to do is pull that, and then you'll just do that with the rest of your leaves until you have them all joined. Now once you get around like I have, you want to join all of those. So you're just going to join it to that opposite side that's left open here to that beginning leaf. Okay, and that's just going to pull you together all the way around. And don't so much worry about your center, because your petals your petals are actually going to cover that. So now what you want to do is take that needle and that one strand you've got that's up close there, you want to just tie that together, and we can cut down these strands. The ones that we just used to tie, you'll want to actually weave these in a bit so that we don't end up unraveling. And you can do that as you go if you like, because they will kind of get in your way. But just for the sake of the demonstration, I'm just going to go ahead and take mine off of here. Okay, and now what you're going to do, your petals are going to be the same process. Okay, and I have done already all of my petals except for one. So you're going to take them and do the same process that you've done with your leaves. Okay, actually I'm not going to thread that one, I'm going to use the last one that I had going here. Okay, so once you've gone all the way around with them, make sure you thread from one side to the other, and that is to ensure that they stay flat. Okay, so there you have that one. Now you want to start or finish with the one you started with. You want to close that gap just like before. Now take that one out, and whichever strand is closest here, you want to tie that so that nothing comes undone. Just like that. And the instructions for this particular pattern doesn't say a particular way to do all this joining. This was my way to do it. It just tells you to join and start threading them together. So if you have a particular way to do so that may work out better for you, by all means go for that. Sometimes as artists we have to figure out ways on our own to do things, and this is a perfect example. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take off all of these tails except for one, which I'm going to use to sew this to the center of my flower, my leaves, the leaf part. Okay, so now what you're just going to do is you're going to start sewing through the center, up and back through, spacing your stitches out, running a good handful of stitches, because you just want the center part of it attached to your leaves. And you'll probably better leave a tail a little bit longer than what I did, but I'll be able to manage it. If not, I'll just add a little bit more. Okay, so you'll just go in and out, front to back. And just like that, make sure that you center it. Okay. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and knock this off. So you go ahead and go in and out as much as you need to. And then once you're done, just tie that into a knot. And just for the sake of the tutorial, I'm finishing it off back there. Okay, so now you have that done. And then what you're going to do is you're just going to start with your little white berries, or the centers. Okay, you want to make sure that they're facing down. And then there's really nothing to it. You're just going to make a couple passes with these right in the center. Okay, so I'm going to take that one out. I'm going to rethread my next one. Put that one up here. And you get the idea of how these are placed. I like working with the metal needles a lot better. They don't bend as much, but I didn't seem to have one laying on my bench, so. Okay, so now let's do the third one. And we'll put that one down this way a little bit. And all of the Christmas ornaments that I make, I end up giving to my daughter, Emily. She puts them on her tree from year to year. So she'll be happy. Okay, so now once you've got them all three on there, I will just take them and knot them up somehow. Finish your tails off. And I usually will knot these better where it's not so much on the back side. I'll pull that in later. So anyway, what you want to do then is you want to take yourself a strand of yarn, and you want to come here at the bottom, or the top, not the bottom, and just make yourself, and you can use ribbon. Ribbon is really beautiful when you're making ornaments. And just make yourself a tie. Okay? And then that goes on your tree. And if you are one that likes the little jingle bells, you can also put jingle bells right in the center. Okay? So that is how we make the poinsettia ornament. So you end up with lots and lots of tails. So this was just to get us through the tutorial. Normally this wouldn't be there. So anyway, so if you find yourself a different technique of sewing these together, which I found this very helpful to do the procedure in which I showed you how to assemble them. It's very, very easy to do in that sense. By all means, use your own techniques if you have any ideas of that. This was just one to throw out there at you at this time. But by all means, if you have your own, go for it and use your ideas as far as that goes as well. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and until next time, happy hooking and happy holidays. Thanks for watching.